Yo, welcome back to JP Street Performance. We are back on the Jaguar F-Type R. Today, we're going to be changing the Supercharger charge cooler. So with this, the Supercharger charge cooler works just like an intercooler would for like a turbo system. However, it is water cooled, so it's actually got coolant flowing through it. We're going to get rid of this plastic tank one and do an all aluminum one with a little extra core, a little extra thickness, so it gets a little more efficient in cooling the supercharger down. So let's get going.
Built with soul, not just steel.
What I'll do for you guys is I'll put up here, I'll link the previous video on how to remove your front fascia on the car. So what we're going to end up doing, and hopefully this camera can kind of catch it all, but we're going to need to remove this horizontal cooler. This is a secondary cooler here. We're going to need to remove all this. This is the charge cooler back here that we will be removing. We'll need to remove these air ducts. Mine personally, your guys's won't be like this, but I have a couple extra straps holding these in to help direct more air to the air filters. You can see here, since I got rid of my factory air boxes, these don't clip on. So I'll have a couple more extra things I got to take off on mine, but pretty simple process. And then once all this is out of the way, we'll unbolt this lower cowl here, a couple of plastic things, and the charge cooler is bolted on through the AC condenser onto the main radiator. So we'll be able to just drop it straight out here. We'll have to drill some holes on the new cooler to line everything up. But so on this one, what we're gonna do is there's not a lot of videos online that I can find that show how all this gets removed. So we're gonna just take it step by step. I've never removed it myself, so we're gonna learn this together and kind of go from there. So that way you guys have an informational video on how to do this yourself. And yeah, so what we're gonna do here, let's start with, okay, that's that. Looks like there's a Torx bit back there. So let's start unbolting what we can see. Let's get these guys out of here like that. You hold the plastic, pull towards the middle. And then like for me, like I said, I have these extra holes or these extra screws holding them up. So I'm gonna have to take those out on mine. Let me get my tools. I went ahead and removed my brackets down here. As you can see, these are loose now. So I don't know if we can get them out yet. So it looks like if we get these hoses off first. So let's do this. We're gonna pop this hose gently out of the clip here. Hopefully you can see that. I've already drained my main radiator. So it's on that last video I showed you guys. So if you need to learn how to do that, you can follow those steps on the last video. These just pop out towards you. Bucket just in case. Try not making too much of a mess today, but we'll see. Okay. There it goes. Wherever this is gonna leak. It's running out, but I can't see where it's leaking, so. All right, so there's one. This back one back here. Let's see if I can get this through this, maybe. Okay, so this is held on with some clips. Let's get these clips out of here. I'm thinking we need to, what's that, 25? What size are these? Nope, 27s. Perfect. Put them on my gun. Okay, I'm hoping this camera's catching everything where I have it today, but if you look right up under here, you're gonna have this plastic Torx. These are just plastic. So we're gonna just take those plastic Torx out. 1, 2. That one's already loose. That one's loose. There it goes. Okay. Yeah. That looks like that's the magic trick. All right. There's going to be some on the opposite side as well. Okay. One here. One back here. Okay. There we go. Those are 27 Torx. That should, in theory, kind of come down now. There we go. All right. Oh, where are we holding up at? Just clips. Oh yeah, it's just got some clips. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Look at that, guys. That's all needs to be cleaned out really good. Oh, that's, yeah. Good thing we're doing this. That'll cause some major rot. Oh, we got a wiring harness or something here. There we go. Okay. Look at all that, you guys. Even got a rock stuck in here. Here's the charge cooler. This one here, the main radiator. So, these horizontal coolers, I've cleaned it once before in a previous video, but these things are notorious for, what's the word, getting plugged up in the back there. So I've cleaned mine once, but we'll clean it again once we figure out how to get some of this out of the way. Just kind of, there you go, just kind of got to wiggle it out. There we go. There's one. Let's get this one out. This one's a little harder. I believe there is a pump back here. Okay. Yeah, there's a pump back there. All right. Now we're gonna leave that like that for now. Now we can get down to this clip here. Again, I'm learning, this is the first time doing it, guys, so I'm learning right here with you. We're just gonna take our time, figure it out step by step. There you go. Oh, man. Okay, now, there is 2 bolts back there. I'm guessing these 2 8mm are likely gonna be what we need to do next. One. I don't have any extensions in here, do I? Come on, baby. All right, there. There we are. Okay. How does this stay on there? Not quite sure. Okay, that one's off. Not seeing anything else. That bolts to the... Oh, there's something right here. Is it gonna slide? Left or right? Oh, it's gonna slide this way. Okay, if you guys can see this, there's a tab. I need to slide this way out of the charge cooler. Let's see what the other side looks like. I don't see a tab on that side. Maybe the whole kit and caboodle needs to go that way, possibly. I think so. All right. Okay. That one's there, but that one is... Huh. Okay, well, let's get the these little 8s out first then and see if we can disassemble that. And we're going to take these 4 out here. Just curious if something is holding it. That's the thing. I found a couple videos on YouTube of how to change charge cooler, but they skip over these steps here on how to get these coolers out. So they kind of just cut to the next thing, cut to the next thing. So I wanted to give you guys a really detailed one. Like I said, kind of do it as I go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there's 4 8mm facing downwards. This is number 4 right here. And I'm assuming this should come out of that whole bracket once we unbolt this. Maybe some locking tabs or something. There it goes. There you go, guys. We're just about 50,000 miles on our F-Type, and so another reason we're doing all this is it's time for a coolant flush anyway. So, but you can see here, just all that buildup starts to restrict the flow through this cooler, plus all the crap at the back there. So I'm gonna set this down over here out of the way. Okay, so now we can figure out how this thing goes. And I still feel like it should slide that way, but I'm not 100% sure because I can't quite figure out how this back corner comes off. So, all right, so the cooler's out. Maybe we can sneak this out now. That's out of the way now, so let's get this. I'm pretty sure that needs to go that way. I'm almost 100% positive, but just looking at it, but there is a locking tab right there. Okay, I see a tab. There's our light. See if we can get you guys in here to see this, hopefully. See the tab? Right? Sorry, guys. Right there. There's a little tab. Now it's a matter of figuring out how that tab works. There's nothing. There, is there? I think it's just pops. I think it's got to pop and then slide. Okay. I'm pretty sure because I don't see a bolt. Yeah, there's no bolt. All right, guys. Here we go. Finally, some information on how this comes out. Push the tab. It's a little finger tab. And then I should there it goes. Oh. Try not to lay in coolant, but here I am. All right. Finally. Sliding tab. See, here, I'll just put it on this camera. Sliding tab. Oh, my little finger tab broke, but that is the pin that holds it. So you got to pop this out and then slide it over, and this whole thing will come out. Finally, some information on how to get that thing out of there. Okay. So, man, that's pretty nasty under here. Whew. That's what I get for living in the high desert, I guess, huh? Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's just on the main radiator. Okay. Whew. That's some nasty stuff right there. This water pump here, this kind of works like a, from what I understand, I could be wrong, but I believe this kind of works like a turbo timer in the sense that if you shut the car down while it's still hot, this electric pump will stay on for X amount of minutes and continue to cool down the supercharger with the engine off. But I do have a new updated water pump for that as well. I did end up ordering that from Velocity AP. Shout out to them for all their good products. So what we need to do, there is a clip, see if you can see there. There's a clip holding the two hoses together. Go ahead and pop the water pump side off, and that'll get you able to move this out of your way. See, that's the clip there. So we'll get that one out of the way completely. So we're gonna need to take, this water pump is sitting on the charge cooler, so we can leave this hose on for now. And then we need to take this hose off that goes to the main radiator system. So we gotta pull that hose off, this hose off, and that is it. And then we can unbolt the bolts. Let me grab some pliers to do that, or some hose clamp pliers. So I'm using, these are specifically for pinch clamps, the spring back type clamps. You can use a regular pair of pliers. These just make it easier because they have a ratcheting that'll hold the clamp closed for you, then you release. So let's get this bottom one off first. If it'll let us get in there. There it is. Oh, that's the only bad thing about these. Sometimes they pop out of their damn groove. There you go. Now, see, boom. You can see the gap there. Makes it nice. You can get things to move around. Oh, that one popped off, but we moved it a little bit. There we go. Right there. Okay. There it is. Move it up the hose. And move it out of the way. Make sure it's at an angle easy to get to for later on. There you go, there's one. There we go. Get this back under here. Not sure how much coolant's gonna come out of this stuff. if any, but just take your time with these hoses so you don't damage them. Okay. There should be an electrical connector to this pump. We'll have to look for to unplug. There it is, right on top of the pump there. See if I can get you guys in there to see it. You see the it's got a little bit of orange paint. Hopefully you can see it's just right on top of the pump. So we'll need to unplug that before we pull this out. And we get sneak our hand back up in there. All right. Sneak these hoses around. Okay. Okay, got the pump unplugged. That wasn't too hard. The little lock tab is on the back side. Just pinch the very top of the connector and pull up. Okay. And then we got 2 more hoses on this side. Let's put this back down here out of my way for this one. Okay. Okay, what do we got back here? So it looks like we have this little hose and this big hose, and then this thing's ready to come out. No one shows the struggle. I'm showing you guys the struggle. Struggle's real. All right. Whew. It's almost off. Yeah. This one's hose clamp lets me walk it off, so let's walk it off. Hopefully. I almost need to go just a hair tighter if I can. Let's release it. Grab a deeper bite. Sometimes you can use the inner lip of this tool to get just a little further. Yeah, that was the magic trick right there. Get it down and off. Okay, that is off. Now it's just a matter of getting this the rest of the way. I have some hose pliers. Let me grab some hose pliers. Let's get these bad boys in there. Try to walk that hose off now. All right, there we go. That one's off. Okay. Now, something to be aware of, as I mentioned earlier, the AC condenser shares the same bolts. So as soon as you unbolt this, Sorry guys, this camera died. Got to charge it up real quick. Okay, so super simple. This should be plenty good for the angle we need anyway, but we're gonna have 2 bolts, 1 on each side, that are 8mm. So it looks like the pump is gonna have to come out because the bolt is behind the pump itself. So, no big deal. There is 1 8mm bolt, top of the pump on the right-hand side. Mine is silver in color, so likely yours is as well. You'll see it right in the very front of the charge cooler. Let's take that out, and then we'll break this one loose and take the whole pump assembly out, and then we can get to our charge cooler bolt. That. Yeah, it'll just slide off there. Okay, so now we just need to get this one off, broken loose. Jesus. Ugh. Whew, what a pain. Ah, what a mess. What a mess, what a mess. All right. Now, should be able to, in theory, sneak that pump. There's that water pump, guys. Hopefully no damage to the hose. That's good. No holes. Awesome. Okay. Now, 8mm, 8mm, and this charge cooler's coming out, guys. Okay, let's just put it on an impact gun and back it out nicely. One. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do one at a time. I'm gonna slide the charge cooler off, slide it down, then put the bolt back through the AC condenser so the AC condenser doesn't come flying out of this thing and break any of the lines, lose any Freon. So, okay, give me that. Almost there. All right, guys, there it is. One charge cooler coming out. Oh, apparently, this thing wants to stay in there. There it goes. Okay, just watch out for your pump bracket. All right. Okay, so ordered from Velocity AP. There's the information on their, I don't even know how to pronounce that. Pierberg? I don't know. Freaking American, I don't know. So, anyway. Here is the new upgraded pump and housing. Look here. It's much bigger. So, and it comes with the connector to convert the factory OE connector to this style here. Now these things sell out fast. I had to wait several months for mine, but that is the upgraded pump. There's a new Paramount charge cooler. You can see, kind of hard with the camera because I don't have my POV camera, but it's about 1.5 to 2 times the thickness as the factory one. So way more efficient cooling. This one is already pre-drilled, which is awesome. I had watched a video that some of them don't come drilled, but this one is. So now we're just gonna reverse the process and get all this back in. Okay, so the holes in the Paramount charge cooler are, I mean, I think it's just the coating they put on this, but they're slightly small. But if you just use your electric gun, the bolts will thread themselves through those holes. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to line these up. Okay, so this one needs to go to the right just a hair. Okay, that one's already lined up. You'll have 2 slides in the back. Make sure you get them up in those tabs. Okay, that one's in. And that one's in. Looks beautiful, everything's clear. All right. Now we gotta get that water pump weaseled in there. I got the top 2 hoses on for now. We're gonna work on getting this upgraded water pump. I think this charge cooler ran about $1,100. And then the water pump was about, I want to say $300 or so. So looking at about a $1,500 investment. But these things love cooler temps because they do get hot with that supercharger. So anything helps for longevity plus performance. So now what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna work on figuring out how this gets mounted now that the mount itself doesn't work. It's a different mount. So we'll have to figure that out and then find the wiring harness and do all that. Probably can move these all back out of the way again. Just kind of in and out with these. Get them up out of the way like that. There we go. Now we have all the room to work down in here. I think, I don't know if this can be adjusted, but that should still go to the top. Let's see here, guys. Oh, okay. So before this thing sat, that part should still fit. And then I'm guessing this rubber bushing is gonna go, oh, let's see here. There's no instructions, so I'm just kind of guessing here. Yeah, so, sorry, my phone's going crazy. We're gonna take this hose off. Here, we'll take this hose off. This part should transfer because it looks like the bottom of the pump is the same size, just the top housing is different. So I'm guessing maybe a hose clamp or something goes around this, or I don't quite know yet, but we're gonna get this all in place. We'll leave the harness off for now. And we know that this is gonna go out at almost a 90 degree from this port here. Hopefully this camera's catching it. It might be too low. Let me get you guys over here. There we go. Oh, you guys can see for sure. Try not being too much in the way. Okay. So. There it goes. Get this down out of the way now. All right. Okie dokie. Set that there. It does not fit there. Oh, that's a 3-bolt. This is a 4-bolt. Okay. So, I'll have to do some research, but for now, you guys can take it from there. I'm gonna clean up all of this, you guys saw earlier, I blew out the back radiator and everything, so I'm gonna clean the floor up, then clean all the junk up out of these 2 coolers. I'm not sure, it's kind of concerning, but I can't tell. This looks like, we get yellow butterflies here, and when they hit, they like splatter yellow. This kind of looks like that, but it also kind of looks like corrosion, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this cooler, make sure it's not leaking. But we're gonna clean this out really, really good, probably with some high pressure water from back flush it, so we don't bend any of these fins in anymore. See, the backside looks decent, so. All right guys, I just got an old exhaust clamp. You can see it's already got the curve. I cut it down. What we're gonna do is we're gonna space it down to here with got an old shock spacer here, a long bolt, and then we're gonna clamp that curve to the housing of the pump once it's all in there. Let me get this, I only got one hand right now. Let me get this all together and then I'll show you what it's looking like. There you go. This thing is solid, it won't move. That's how we did it, right there. Now we're just gonna put our upgraded connector in there, and then we can finish putting the reverse process of getting the horizontal cooler in. We're gonna clean that really, really good before we put it back in. Last quick thing to note, with how much bigger this pump is and the electrical connector being on this front side, you cannot run your snorkel for your air filters. For me, it's not a big deal because I have the Mina Gallery air filters. The front part of the grill sits directly, the filter sits directly right here. So we're getting true cold air anyway. So I don't need that extra air flowing directly because these are open element filters. So again, we're gonna clean those, but that's something to be aware of. You won't be able to fit this one side in if you upgrade the pump, and you might be able to try to tuck it back there a little further, but I don't foresee it fitting very well anyways, just with how much this protrudes. Got the lower cooler cleaned up, all blown out. We pressure washed it and then blew it out, It's mounted back up in there. Hoses are on. So that's it. The rest will go back together. We're not gonna put our nose back on or anything because we're building that custom splitter. So we're gonna leave this off. We gotta finish cleaning that up, throw that back on, and then that project's done. Well, that's a step-by-step for you guys on how to install a Supercharger charge cooler, an upgraded one from Paramount Performance. There's a couple other companies out there that make them as well. Paramount's just the one I went with. But for now, we're gonna end this video here. We still got a lot more work to bring you on the F-Type this winter. So for now, learning, building, and sharing the ride. This is JP Street and Performance. Until next time.